So to do our parts of speech tagging, we're going to be importing the Spacey package and the pandas package. The first step is to load up the Spacey model. So we create a variable named NLP and then use spacey.load, and within the brackets we specify the model we want to use. We'll then load in some text to practice our parts of speech tagging on. For this example, we're going to be using Jane Austen's Emma. We've removed punctuation and lowercase this text, but we have left in the stop words for this. We'll then want to create a Spacey document for our text. This will generate the tokens and their associated parts of speech tags. So we run spacey.doc and then we use the NLP, and within the brackets we reference our text, our Emma JA. We then want to extract the tokens and the POS tags into a data frame. So we initialize a data frame named POSDF and create a pandas data frame with column names token and POS tag. We then use a for loop to run through each token in our Spacey doc. For each token, it will take the associated parts of speech tag and put this into our POSDF. Once we've done that, we can then run POSDF.head. So you can see here the first 15 words of the text and their associated POS tags. So let's say we want to look at the most common tokens and their associated POS tags in our data frame. We'll create a new data frame called POSDF counts and then use the POSDF and the group by function. We'll group by the token and the POS tag and then use .size to get the number of rows that fall into that group. We'll then reset our index and give it the name counts. And then we can sort our values by these counts, and when we mark ascending equals false, it will be in descending order. So we're going to get the most common tokens first and their associated POS tags. We can then run POSDF counts.head and within the brackets pop the number 10 to get the 10 most common tokens and their associated tags. So we can see here the most common tokens are of, her, and then we've got their POS tags there and the number of times they occur within our text. Let's say we just want to know how many different words we have under each of the different tags. We can create a new data frame, POSDF POS counts, and use the group by function again here. Instead, we'll just be grouping by the POS tags. We'll then be taking each token and counting it. We'll then finally use sort values and ascending equals false to give us the most common POS tags and the number of words that appear within each POS tag. We can then again look at the head of this data frame and it'll give us the most common POS tags and the number of words that fall into that POS tag. So here we can see that nouns are mostly used within our text 34 times, followed by 22 verbs and 20 adjectives, etc. We can also look at individual tags. So say for example we want to look at the most common nouns that are coming up within our data. We can reference our POSDF counts data frame and filter it where the POS tag equals noun. We can then just take the top 10 to get the top 10 nouns that appear within our text. So if we print that out, we can see that the top noun is governess that appears 3 times, followed by friend, mother, daughters, sisters, etc. So we can easily swap this out to look at different POS tags. So here I'm swapping this to look at adjectives, and when we print this out, we can see that the most common adjective is the words more and little, which appear 2 times within our text.